Hey people, it's me and Buster Green, and enough random shit has happened in the Megaman EXE community lately that I guess I actually have something to comment on for the first time in forever regarding Megaman EXE, sometimes called Megaman Battle Network, also sometimes called Rockman EXE. The series has a lot of names. Anyway, although a lot of this is making me feel ancient, I'm a massive EXE fan, so I gotta go over this. Now, look, I've always been a huge Mega Man fan. Like, I will always reference Mega Man as much as possible when I have to. But when the EXE series came out, it hit me at a really sweet point in my life. And I just had a lot of fun playing the EXE games because every year they would drop either just before or just after my birthday. And also they would come out like right around summer vacation. So usually I could dedicate the entire summer to finishing one. And that was literally the norm from like, I don't know, the time I was in like 4th grade to the time I graduated high school. It's really nuts how long this series was with us, and then all of a sudden it disappeared forever. So yeah, I played every game back in the day when they originally came out, collected as many battle chips as I could figure out how to get my hands on in real life, which was a thing you could do. And thankfully the fan base has come roaring back to life all of a sudden with the pending release of the Rockman EXE Advanced Collection, a Nintendo Switch port of all the games on GBA, all the main series games, that will somehow have net play, making it kind of a Mega Man Battle Network, as they would call it. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm very on the fence about whether or not I will actually pick up the EXE Advanced Collection, as I'm not really fully impressed with the amount of new content in the game. So I'm really like scratching my head and trying to figure out whether or not it's a justifiable purchase, because I fundamentally really have no interest in playing 6 years worth of games that I already beat the shit out of in my childhood. And yeah, sure, there's the caveat that now they have online multiplayer, but that alone isn't quite enough to me. Like, it's an impressive feat of engineering, it's a great collection, but I don't know, I'm not satisfied with that. Like, if they redid all the games in HD, like, fully animated, like, then I would have picked it up. Or like, if they had included like anything new, that would have like changed my mind. Like, if this was a brand new EXE game, like, I would buy that in a heartbeat. And on top of that, I'm actually really bummed out that the collection doesn't include Mega Man EXE Operating Shooting Star, the bizarre half remake of the first EXE game combined with characters and events from Mega Man Star Force. I'm guessing they didn't include it because of bad reviews, but I'm curious enough about that game that I probably will have bought it just to play that game. And yeah, on top of that, the collection doesn't have any of the spin-offs. I mean, Battle Chip Circuit, that's not a great game. It's barely worth mentioning, and EXE 4.5 kinda doesn't work without the real-world Battle Chip game Pepper Variable. But yeah, anyway, even if I'm not fully stoked about the game's release, I am stoked about the really nuts stuff that has been boiling around the game itself, and that in itself is actually building up a lot of hype for me. So apart from Forte Cross Rockman just randomly showing up in Rockman EXE Dive, which is actually a pretty big deal because it's the first time they've given us an EXE armor, and if they're giving us an EXE armor, I gotta say, wow, Forte Cross Rockman is pretty much the best one. But on top of that, we got the first actual new Mega Man commercial produced by Capcom in decades. And it's sort of a touching film of what it was like to live in the early 2000s and play the Mega Man EXE games on the Game Boy Advance as they came out using like late phase magazines and primitive internet communications. And if I'm following all this news correctly, Capcom released everything they had of the old original EXE anime on their YouTube channel for a limited time, as well as the second season EXE Access, finally setting the lost media record straight, because Access has been lost media since the early 2000s. And it was a little unclear if they had dubbed the entire show or if they had skipped any episodes, so that's wonderful. And for the record, I've watched the complete first season of the original EXE anime all the way through back in high school, but by the time Access came out, I was in college, so I really only had time to like catch the first couple episodes, then I missed it and they never re-aired them, so that was a whole thing. And I really want to see the later seasons that cover like EXE 4, 5, and 6, just because I want to see those stories, and it's honestly a huge crime that to this day the beloved whole series just isn't available in any shape or form. But maybe that crime will finally be corrected since Capcom also dropped 1 or 2 episodes of the anime with subs, giving this intense paranoid hope that if they have subs for these episodes, they probably have subs for all the episodes, and if they can just get their shit together, maybe they can finally release a sub-dub anime combo pack on Blu-ray and we can finally own this beloved show from our childhoods. Now there's one last thing that popped on the hype train, and this last thing probably generated more hype than anything else. So randomly we got a few additional final pages of the old EXE manga telling one more short standalone story. Now I'm not that big of a manga collector, I kind of only read like manga I'm strongly interested in, but the EXE manga has a really interesting vibe, and it's a little bit more mature, a little bit more exotic, a little bit more mysterious than the anime or the games, and it has kind of a nice cyberpunk vibe that I can get behind. So anyway, this new chapter is pretty much a weird standalone reunion epilogue scenario, and I guess I'm going to do a quick manga review of this because why the heck not? It's a free comic that they gave away on the official game's website, so it's not like I'm pirating everything. So yeah, this pretty much is lightly away from the manga's canon, and it's just back to the original game's events, so if you never read the manga, you can just read this as is. It's phrased as the Mega Man Battle Network 20 reunion, which again makes me feel old as crap. I can literally feel my soul leaving my body. So we rejoin Mega Man EXE and Lan. Mega Man has not changed today, but now Lan is a middle-aged man in his 30s, strongly resembling his father but without the glasses. And yeah, today is his middle school reunion, which is stupid, but they do that in Japan. And I guess today is the day that they're doing it. So, Mega Man first asks Chad to come because Chad is his best friend and rival, and Chad immediately declines him because he's a jerk. Chad looks exactly the same, except now he's wearing a suit. So then Mega Man goes to get the other friends. Mega Man goes to see Dex, but Dex is the mayor of the city. Mega Man goes to see Yai, and Yaito has inherited her family's company, and now is living out her best life as a wealthy heiress. Although ironically, she is still living in her parents' old house, and I'm sure she's living rent-free. Anyway, in the end it seems that no one wants to go to the stupid middle school reunion, and Old Lan is okay with that because he just accepts that he's old now, the world has changed. But Mega Man, who has known him all this time and who hasn't changed, thinks that Lan is lying to himself, and that secretly he misses everyone. So then Mega Man reflects on the golden age of the Mega Man EXE games, where all the adventures happened, everyone was lovely to each other, and insert emotional manipulation by Nintendo here, because you gotta buy that Nintendo Switch game if you're ever going to feel something again like you were when you were a child. And then they fully gloss over the story of the 6 games, the many enemies that were defeated, and how fun they were. Flashback over, Lan and Mega Man finally go to the reunion, and Lan is being extra nostalgic as he puts Mega Man back into the bulky EXE1 Gen 1 pet design with the keyboard and the signpost and all that good shit. And at first it seems that the reunion completely sucks and no one is coming. But at this sucky reunion, the party is randomly attacked by crappy basic tier viruses from the old GBA games. So Lan, Hikari, and Mega Man go into battle one more time for old time's sake. And as this is happening, Chad walks into the door, and he's very impressed by all this going down. Also, all of a sudden, Lan's son Pat shows up, and this is our first time really seeing him. He looks basically exactly like Lan, but with a different outfit, and very coolly, he's rocking an old battle-damaged version of Lan's old bandana, which is really, really cool, probably the coolest thing about him. Anyway, then we get to the ending of the comic, and in the biggest cop-out I have ever seen, rather than fully revealing the cool adult designs of all the characters that they've been lightly teasing the entire comic, instead, the characters magically turn back into kids, and yeah, they're kids again, despite being 30 years old and having their own kids present. The fun of fighting viruses turns them back into children. And it's sappy. Look, I get what they're going for, but this is embarrassing and it's sappy. I feel completely cheated because I wanted to see these characters fully realized as adults, and this manga did everything in its power to sidestep that and disappoint me. At least we get one more panel of Patch, who everyone is hailing as the most important revelation of the comic, and then the comic ends with a blatant commercial promotion for the EXE Advanced Collection coming out April 14th. Woo! So yeah, that's a comic, and yeah, it earned a lot of goodwill and a lot of praise online for the whole patch thing. I didn't hate it, but I feel super gypped that they didn't give us the adult designs. I mean, like, they hint at them, they show them in shadow, but damn it, they could have shown the adult designs clearly for a second, and I would have been completely stoked to just, like, have that, like, bookend closed and be like, hey, look at those friends of mine. They grew up to be good, outstanding adults. Oh, well, whatever. I'll enjoy this nostalgia wave while it lasts. Anyway, are you guys getting the Mega Man EXE Advanced Collection? Let me know, because I'm pretty sure I'm not. But I openly welcome you to try and change my mind, because I am a huge Mega Man EXE fan, and I do care for the franchise. So let me know. I'll be around. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Good night.